Well, now you got into this mess by going down a waterfall. Now, how would you suppose we can get them out of there?
By going up the waterfall?
That's right. Anything's possible in Disneyland.
Welcome, friends, and thank you for joining us on this episode of Up the Waterfall with your hosts, Zanna and Scott Otis.
Hello.
Here we take a nostalgic journey up the waterfall of Disney parks, movies, books, and more, with a present-day point of view. We invite you to remain seated and enjoy your visit up the waterfall. For this episode, you may want to not listen or watch while hungry.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe you will want to do that, and then you'll want to visit Disney and get some of these things. Because on this episode 37,
Ooh, yeah.
a good year, a good age to be,
Indeed.
we are celebrating iconic Disney foods and drinks.
That's right.
But mostly foods.
Yeah, so you're probably going to want to be hungry. And you're going to be hungry at the end of this, and I already am hungry. So.
Yes. I ate beforehand, so I'm fine. I've got my decorative food items on display here.
All of which I believe are on the list.
I think you're right. So rather than do a top 10, because really there's no way to narrow down which 10 are the top, I don't think.
I have my favorites, but yeah, it would be very tough.
We can perhaps at the end do a lightning round of what our favorites are.
Okay.
Or maybe we can do that on the live show.
Ooh.
A tie-in.
Ooh, I like that. I like either way. Or both.
Basically, this came to me, this idea, because I just wanted to do something fun. And, we did so much research and history on the Orange Bird one. This is, though, a jumping off point from the Orange Bird, because, of course, Citrus Swirl is a classic
I agree with
food
this.
item that we mentioned last week. But I thought it would just be fun to go down and talk about some of the brief history, not very in-depth, because, we do have a long list here to get to. So
50, 60?
I don't know.
70?
I didn't count.
A lot.
We should just jump right in, though, I think.
Well, you mentioned one, the Citrus Swirl, and that's a good
these
one.
are going to be in no particular order either.
No, because there's no way.
Just as they popped into my old noggin, and you as well when you did your own list.
That's right.
So. Citrus Swirl, we can knock that right off because we talked at great detail about that last week.
But it does have a companion swirl, kind of.
The Dole Whip?
Yeah.
It's on my shirt today.
And it's right here. It's represented in cute format.
First
that's a pretty good helping right there.
Well, that's what you used to be able to do in the Polynesian.
Oh,
when
yeah.
You could do self-serve Dole Whips. And boy, there were some people that really put that to the test.
That would be this guy right here.
Making like 3 feet of Dole Whip.
That was me.
In a cup.
It only toppled one time, and oops, yeah, that was a mess. But yeah.
But when they redid, I guess, the entire Polynesian lobby, and they redid Captain Cook's and created the pineapple lanai.
Yeah, a whole counter just for that.
They said, no, you cannot make your own anymore. We'll serve it for you.
But that wasn't the first exclusive counter just for the Dole Whip, as you know.
What do you mean?
Well, there was one at Disneyland.
Oh, yeah. Well, obviously. That was like the only self-serve one.
Yeah, that's true.
But yes, it started in Disneyland in 1986 when Dole took over the sponsorship.
Yeah.
And when I first visited Disneyland in 2011, they still had, I think, the original fun little film because it was very dated.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Like fun.
The history of Hawaii and the Dole
pineapple
plantation.
farming and stuff like that. And it used to be back in the day that you could literally only get Dole Whip at Disneyland, Walt Disney World, and in Hawaii.
Yeah, at the Dole plantation.
But
on Oahu.
Times have changed and technology has caught up. And Dole was like, we'll let anyone have this mix.
It still has kind of like the thing, a lot of people still think that way.
Yeah, they associate it with. But there's tons of, even when I lived in Rhode Island in 2001, there was a place there that served Dole Whip.
Uh-oh.
At an ice cream place. But We, recently, like a month ago, in our quarantine activities, I ordered a bag of Dole Whip mix off of Amazon. I'll link to that.
And
I think
we made some.
Yeah, I don't think I ever wrote a blog post about it. I was going to.
I remember when we needed space in the freezer, I had to down the whole thing. Got a little Dole Whip headache.
Yes, because it comes in a huge thing, and you're supposed to mix it in like a 5-gallon bucket, which I did not do. So we kind of just reduced the size. But anyway.
It was delicious.
A classic.
Indeed.
And you can get it in all different forms. Float. Now you can get rum in it at Epcot over at the, Pineapple's Promenade. That's what they call it. Pineapple Promenade there.
Okay.
And I think you can get it with rum in it at Animal Kingdom as well. They have different flavors. And that's the other thing is now there's like a million different flavors of Dole Whip. There's lime. There's raspberry. There's coconut that just came back again.
Yeah.
Which I would like to try the coconut one.
That's just not a Dole Whip as far as I'm concerned. Dole Whips are pineapple.
Yeah, but tell that to the Dole Company and Disney.
Yeah.
But if you have a favorite, let us know in the comments because,
My favorite
I think they've
is
done
Dole
pretty
Whip.
much every flavor now.
Pineapple with vanilla swirl because you don't want it to be too pineapple-y.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I did love that. I can't do it anymore because I'm vegan, but that was the perfect mix of sweet and tart.
What?
Anyway, Citrus Swirl we mentioned. Another great classic Disneyland only is this little bad boy right here.
Mint Julep.
Mint Julep, which I was excited to try on my first visit to Disneyland as well. Of course, it's over in New Orleans Square.
At the Mint Julep Bar.
The Mint Julep Bar, which has like cool painting on the wall outside it that says the name of the place. It's very...
and that's been there for as long as I can remember. It's it's right next to the New Orleans Square train station, adjacent to the French Market. And yeah, they serve pretty much mint juleps and another classic item, the beignets.
Oh, that's right. Yes, we can knock two off.
The
in one
fun...
thing. Because I definitely got both when I went there.
Oh yeah, the treat with powdered sugar all over. Yeah,
So,
I only get one because I'm not a mint guy.
No, you're not. Traditionally, a mint julep has bourbon in it, and it's like a southern. I thought that they always served it at like the Kentucky Derby and stuff like that. I could be just making.
I will
that up.
take your word for it. I think they did, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, Kentucky
I've never
Derby.
had one.
I'm looking it up right now. So normally it's not even green. But because in Disneyland there's no alcohol except at Club 33, it's just green. So it's basically like drinking toothpaste. So it's not for everyone. I tried it to try it. I do like mint flavored things, but it was just like an odd combination for me.
Yeah.
Personally.
So what I do is I just get 2 orders of beignets and call one of them the mint julep.
Yeah.
And then
I think they might have like fun coffee drinks there too. I remember getting a coffee drink.
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, the beignets, and Disneyland has really, over the past 5 or so years, gone all out in creating seasonal beignet flavors. There's the pumpkin ones, there's gingerbread ones, even peppermint, and sometimes they add things to the sugar so that when you shake it up, it's got like fun little sprinkles or whatever.
A lot of times I get my beignets at Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen because I pass that along the way to Disneyland, and
we did that a lot.
I
on
have
our
to
first
stop
visit
and get
together.
Yeah, so
it was good. They're really good there. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow, I blocked it out. They are really good at Disneyland, though. I do prefer
they're Mickey shaped.
The ones on the West Coast to Port Orleans, which I
agree with that.
Gotten here. I've gotten the gluten-free version, which are by default vegan because they're gluten-free. Not a huge fan of the gluten-free waffles and beignets personally.
Yeah,
they need to do better.
I agree.
They get very gummy. But yeah, I'm trying to think of, I guess Port Orleans is really the only place you can get them here.
As far as I know, yeah.
And of course at Café du Monde in New Orleans, which I have also done.
Which is not a Disney establishment.
It's not.
But yeah, that's where I first got them.
So let's see. Beignets and mint juleps, we got those covered. What's next on the list? Oh, staying in New Orleans Square, we could discuss a classic. It wasn't necessarily a Disney classic, but it became one, and that is, of course, the Monte Cristo sandwich.
That's right.
Or as my family called it growing up, the Monte Crisco. That's for my mom. She'll laugh.
Wow.
Because basically, you're taking a sandwich and you're breading it in batter and frying it.
Yes.
That's pretty outrageous.
And growing up going to Disneyland, I always remembered the Monte Cristo as being like an iconic Disneyland thing, and I never had it because it has cheese, and I don't like cheese.
Yeah, you can't really.
But my mother had that when we went out there.
I don't think I've ever got it at Disneyland.
Well, they have it. First off, it was on the original Blue Bayou menu when that opened in 1967.
Wow. So it really is.
It's been there, since New Orleans Square opened. But they also
ham and turkey and
there's a berry compote.
Yeah, I
that
remember
comes
that.
with it.
But what else is
it's
on the sandwich? Do we know?
On the sandwich, as far as I know, it's just well, actually,
I thought
there was
you
an
took
article
your,
in the fall 2009 23 magazine that
from Disney 23.
Yeah, that talked all about it. But there's a menu card right there. And
do you want to read it, or you want me to?
How about you read it?
Because
I think I saw the word turkey in there.
Let's see. White meat of turkey, sliced Swiss cheese, sliced ham, and white bread.
Yeah, it's very possible that they might have changed the menu. Or I'm sorry,
I don't think they did. And then the batter is
recipe since then, but
flour, salt, baking powder, water, and egg.
And then of course deep fried.
Fry in 360-degree oil until brown. Serve with raspberry jelly, and sprinkle with powdered sugar. I mean, it makes no sense. Who invented this thing? But
I do not know.
It was a very 60s item.
Yeah. That
just kind of stood the test of time, I guess, because it's such a novelty.
And back then, I don't know if it still is, but it was topped with toasted coconut.
Oh, weird. No, it's powdered sugar usually.
Yeah.
But you can also, if you don't want to go to Blue Bayou or pay Blue Bayou prices, you can get it at Cafe Orleans.
Cafe Orleans. Yeah, that.
A little bit cheaper.
And they both have, the ambiance, but of course one has the indoor ambiance of the Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah. The other one has just the outdoor streets and the rivers of America and all the jazz music,
yes.
Which to me is awesome. Plus you're paying less. But yeah, that's
at the same time, we could talk about gumbo. Is that on your list?
Yes.
We're just doing like a whole New Orleans Square.
The whole
special.
bread bowl thing.
Right.
Gumbo being one of the things that they throw in there.
You can get gumbo in Blue Bayou as an appetizer situation, but you can get it in a bread bowl.
Yeah, at the Royal Street Veranda, which is just a counter right on the right side of the queue for Pirates of the Caribbean. They just have a window there, and it's served in a couple other places. It's just the sourdough bread bowl filled with, gumbo, as you said. They also have
it's actually
chili.
vegan gumbo, which is why I first tried it, because I was vegan that second visit.
They used to do a steak, a steak soup too.
Steak stew thing. I think they have it that other.
And
what's
clam
the other
chowder.
Restaurant?
Oh.
Where it's like a cafeteria style thing, and you get your
well,
tray.
that's the French Market.
Ah, yes, that one. They have stuff there, I think, jambalaya and gumbo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so there's all kinds of things, and they kind of vary what's available. I think they even had the cheese soup.
You can also get, or you used to, I don't know if it's still open. Well, it's definitely not open right now, but over by the water, there's that little shack that had chowder in a bread bowl.
Chowder.
I don't know what it was called. Columbia Harbor House on the West Coast.
Oh, no, I know. You're in Fowler's Harbor. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, so, New Orleans Square in and of itself is the home of many iconic things.
A lot.
If we missed something, let us know. But
we probably did, but
let's move on from there. Do you want to suggest one?
Well, you know what? Here's a classic. Just the churro. Plain old churro. But I'm going to put a little asterisk on this one.
I know you are.
Churros specifically at Disneyland and Disneyland only. Although, let me put another asterisk on that, unless you're at Tokyo. The Tokyo Disneyland ones are superb. They actually fill them. They're Mickey Mouse shaped when you look at them from the long
the cross section.
Yeah, the cross section, and they fill them with either chocolate or maple. There.
That sounds insanely good.
Yeah, but the ones at Disneyland are freshly made there, and deep fried there.
Yes.
Where
And
the ones at Disney World, I believe, are frozen and then done that way. And so you kind of lose a lot of
yeah, I mean, it makes sense
flavor
here.
that
It's so
way.
much bigger and so much more visitors. But I never really had a churro ever until my first visit to Disneyland. And I was with, my friend Nicole. And we really existed solely on churros and bread products and sugar of some sort. Like that's literally what kept us going. So my first ever churro was a good one because it was a Disneyland version.
I always think of my friend Wyatt, who every time he stops by a cart, he has to get 2 churros and a drink. And I don't know how he does it because he holds a churro in each hand. And I guess he has a third hand for the drink.
I know, and he's skinny too.
Yeah.
It does not show.
I guess he only eats churros.
But now, of course, they do like churro events where they will have, churros with blue and red frosting to be lightsabers for the Star Wars things over here.
That's true.
I think they also did that in Disneyland when they were doing Star Wars things. And they really will theme them to all sorts of different things to, of course, get people to try things, get people, the last 5 or so years.
And I think they add an upcharge a lot of times, too.
Oh, yes. But also it's mainly for the photo. And a lot of the food that they make, which I will discuss later when we get to another topic, is really done for the gram. And they know that people are going to take a photo and pose it in front of a castle or in front of, Mickey's Fun Wheel or whatever it's called now, Pal Around. So, yeah. And also in Disneyland, they have leading out of Disneyland in downtown Disney district, they have like a cart that sells its own churros that are like a million different other flavors.
Yeah, and I don't think that one is the Disney one.
No,
I think that's just an outside vendor.
Yes.
So don't be fooled. I mean, I don't want to take their business away, and I don't think me saying that's going to hurt their business.
If you've tried one of those, let us know. I've never stopped there because I've always been like, it's not Disneyland.
Exactly. And that's my stance.
All right. Well, let's stay in Disneyland.
I've got a lot from Disneyland.
And discuss one of your favorites, which I know this would probably be number 1 on your list if we were to do a list.
Well, if you're saying this is number 1 on my list, I know what you're talking about.
Yes,
so.
of course. The classic Disneyland Corn Dog.
Only from the Little Red Wagon.
I really, at some point, I'm going to try one. Well, I guess I'm not because I'm vegan. No. But someone in my family needs to try one from DCA.
It will not be me. I will never have
comparison.
I will never have a corn dog from anywhere other than the Little Red Wagon.
I know.
At Disneyland.
It really was a mind-altering experience when I had my first one. Because,
aren't they so good?
You've had a corn dog at a state fair, or you've had like frozen corn dogs that your mom has bought.
Nope.
And you're just like, okay, it's a corn dog. Yeah, I know what a corn dog is. But at Disneyland, I mean, they're hand dipped.
They are.
So they're really thick. It's like
they are
a good 2.5 inches of cornbread batter.
They are the size of a small toddler's forearm.
That is true. You have always said that. And then inside, of course, is a hot dog.
A big hot dog.
They're fried to golden brown perfection.
Yep.
And
they're so good.
There really is just no comparison.
Yeah.
And they sell them at the Little Red Wagon in a little basket where you can get like fries on the side
or
chips.
And I never get the chips. I just only get
apples. But this is the secret I was just going to say. You can get them without that and pay slightly less.
Yeah, the only thing on the menu is that it comes with chips. But all you have to do is say, no thanks on the chips, and they'll charge the price without the chips.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
An Otisney secret.
But I had a thing where I would get on my lengthy Disneyland trips where I would have a corn dog on every single day of my trip. So if I was there for 14 days, I would have 14 corn dogs.
Wow, I wish. And then you kind of did away with that tradition. I told you to keep it going, but you ended it on your own.
I've actually made up for it with multiple corn dogs on
last time without me.
Yeah. But yeah, I would get multiple corn dogs in one seating.
Oh, okay. The Corn Dog Castle over at DCA actually has some unique corn dog variations. Like they have things that are just like a solid block of cheese inside a corn dog, and then sometimes they have a lot of specialty items with.
I've seen the menu. I
Weird
know that they
sausages and
exist,
things.
but no, I will
Just
never.
letting you know
No,
what's
I
out
know,
there.
and
Might be someone
I know
else's
that there are
favorite.
people that are huge corn dog castle fanatics, and that's fine. And I'm not trying to take that from you, because that is a Disney California Adventure original. It opened with the park in 2001. Yeah, but that's just not my thing. And they actually do also sell them at the where's that, the Stage Door Cafe at Disneyland as well.
Yeah, that's always never been open when we've thought about trying them.
It's usually open. It's just kind of out of the way. And why go there when you can go to the Little Red Wagon?
I suppose. And
Yeah.
of course, over here we have corn dog nuggets at Casey's Corner, and I think perhaps a few other places, but they are not to be compared.
No.
There's
And I
also
won't.
the they did a food truck that was supposed to be the Disneyland Corn Dogs, which I actually wanted to get that for our wedding reception.
And that's very sweet. But
I
I
had
think
no idea if it was going to be the real thing.
No, it's not.
You don't know that. It could
I
be.
do.
Did you try it?
No, but I've seen reports.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's a very
they never got
sweet
back to me
gesture,
about the
and I
doing
appreciate
our
that.
wedding.
But I think deep down I would have been like, but it's not the same.
Wow. On your wedding night, you couldn't
Well,
have
I don't know, but
given me that for trying to arrange it. All right.
I was always very impressed that you tried to have that. That would have been great.
Lots of emails with no returns. Hard to track down a food truck, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially
But I
when
mean,
owned by Disney.
If you're in Disney World, you can't always fly to Disneyland to get the original. So
Right. Some people love the corn dog nuggets. You certainly get a lot of them.
Yeah.
Casey's, I don't believe, is open at this moment, but
I think they
those
also
to
serve them
me-
at the clam bake and in the beach club. In
Oh,
the
really?
kids menu,
Oh, okay.
in the kids area.
those to me are very much like frozen food item
Yeah,
corn
they're
dogs.
still
They're
good.
nothing special. Sorry if
That's
you like them. All right. Well, let's stay over on this coast.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to stay on the other coast, but that's fine. We will be going back
We'll
to
go
Disneyland.
back and forth. Let's mention something that you will not like. We're doing contrasting with your favorite, and that would be the classic, the iconic cheddar cheese soup.
I
from
hear people
Canada.
mention that all the time, and they talk about it left and right and up and down as like their favorite. I just don't get it. But then I'm just not a cheese guy, so I'll let you talk about this one.
It's been a long time since I had it.
The cheddar cheese soup.
It's been a long time since I've been to Le Cellier, actually, also. They must have vegan things now, because everybody does. Of course, I
Probably.
don't think they're open this very minute. But,
Maybe.
yeah, it just was I think when it opened, it was like, wow, cheese soup, kind of, a novelty, if you will. And it was good, so I think it gained popularity that way. And then, of course, when Food and Wine had been around for a while, they finally were like, hey, let's throw some cheese soup into the mix
Yeah,
here. at
it's
this
been
tent,
it's been a favorite
so you can
at the
get a
Food
little
and Wine
amount.
Pavilion or the Food and Wine festivals forever. But
For those listening or watching that may have no clue, Scott is famously averse to cheese.
not just cheese, but all cheeses and
In any form.
anything cheese related, or even just kind of like cheese-ish.
Which is funny because we use a lot of vegan cheese here at the house. And I try to get him to eat it because it's not cheese, but it still doesn't work
Yeah,
because
because,
it's like
yeah,
the essence of cheese.
And it tries to be cheese. It tries to taste like cheese. But yeah, no
And
thanks.
There's no allergy or anything, which is always a fun thing to explain when you go to a restaurant because everyone freaks out and doesn't want you to have an allergic reaction, but it's just a dislike.
Yeah, I grew up eating cheese. My mother made me grilled cheese sandwiches, and I just never liked them. And then, whenever she made pizza, I always tried to get the piece with the least amount of cheese. And then I realized, you can actually order pizza without cheese.
Crazy.
Some people say that's not pizza, but I do think
I
it
believe
is.
Tony Caggiano is one of those people, if he's listening. Bread with sauce. So cheese soup, if that's your favorite, let us know. Let's do another fun one from this side of the pond. or not the pond.
I'm sure there's a pond between here and Disneyland.
If you go around the long way to get to Disneyland. The carrot cake cookie. Have you ever had that?
I have.
It's got cream cheese in the frosting.
And yeah, that's my issue with it. So
I used to love cream cheese frosting, which I actually made a vegan cream cheese frosting, and it wasn't that bad. A classic, much beloved at the Writer's Stop
which no
bookstore
longer
and
exists.
cafe over on the way to New York Street in Disney's Hollywood Studios.
They have since.
It is now part of whatever that bar is back there.
Yeah,
which
you
I
know,
can't
the
remember the
bar.
name of. I've never been there, but everyone
I've
loves
been
it.
through it, but I have not eaten there.
Christian, you remember the name of that bar over in Studios? Baseline tap, base something. Discuss the carrot cake cookie while I...
Well, I mean, it tasted like carrot cake.
Baseline
So you
tap.
take a cake, but make it a
House.
cookie. And that's what it was.
Yeah, it was basically like if you remember Seinfeld,
was very big.
and the muffin top thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was kind of like they cut off the top of a muffin, a carrot cake muffin, or like cupcake. But it was nice and flat, and then it was just filled with
Yeah, and they were always very big.
cream cheese frosting. It was not a single eating item
not for
by
you.
yourself. If you had to share it with friends
I mean,
or take
you
it home.
didn't have to, but
It does
it's
still
always nice
exist. You can still get it
Where?
to this day at Starbucks or
Ooh.
the Trolley Car Cafe, as it is known,
Fun.
in Hollywood Studios on Hollywood Boulevard.
That's great.
So yeah, Baseline Tap House is the name of that. As
Okay.
I said, I've never been there, so I don't have any food items from there.
I will tell you this. There is a new item in that same park that whenever I pass that very location, I wave to it and say, sorry, I'm not going to eat anything from you as I'm going to go into the new Galaxy's Edge to have a Ronto's roaster.
Ah, yes.
You know, they made that little guy who turns the little roasting machine just for this one item. And you see all of these little, I guess, creatures that make it into the Ronto's roaster. And it's like a single item at that one shop. And it's like a fun hot dog kind of a situation on bread with all kinds of fun.
Is it wrapped with other meat, I believe?
Yeah. I know it is actually. But there's also a bunch of vegetables that I don't know about and some sort of a spread also and it's wrapped in kind of like a pita type of a situation.
It's not a great place to walk through as a vegan, personally.
Right.
A
I'm not
giant hunk
vegan.
of former Ronto beast.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
true.
there's a little room that has all sorts of other dead animals in it.
But if you follow the whole Star Wars stories, it kind of goes along with that.
Well, yeah, for sure.
You know, I don't think they haven't really developed the whole Star Wars.
I think Rey might be
thing.
vegan. You know, when she has to...
Remember, yeah, when
she
she
gets
ate
the credits and it turns the powder into like some sort of
a
weird...
gelatinous goo.
Yeah, that's probably vegan.
Maybe.
Protein bread, maybe.
But yeah, that's a good one.
Ronto wrap, a new favorite for many folks. If they did a vegan one, I'd be all over it because that would be fun. I mean,
That would be
they
fun.
do serve the Beyond sausages at so many places now. That's
Yeah.
almost an iconic thing,
And they
which
have
I did not put on my
those
list.
meatball things
Yes,
at the
Impossible slider. Well, no, I guess they're not sliders. Like the farmhouse meatball
yeah.
that's there right now at the Epcot, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Taste of Epcot. So another one from over this, well, on both sides, I guess, is of course the classic popcorn, which is vegan because it's not real butter.
Yeah, popcorn, that is an absolute classic. I mean, you know, there's images of Walt himself having popcorn at Disneyland.
Out of
and
this very kind of container,
oh, yeah.
but much bigger.
Like in that special that takes place at nighttime at Disneyland.
We have a framed popcorn bucket
We do.
downstairs in our kitchen area.
And I actually used to sell popcorn. I used to make and sell popcorn at Epcot Center.
And do they pipe in popcorn smell?
Yes.
So it's not real.
Not there. Not at Epcot.
Oh. But on Main Street, like in Magic Kingdom?
In certain places, yes. But I mean, in other places, you don't really need to, because just the creation of the popcorn.
Yeah, I suppose.
And of course, you know,
But sometimes
to me,
they make it in advance.
the ones at Disneyland, we never did that here, I will say.
We do now, because Sophia used to work at Animal Kingdom.
Okay, well,
and saw that.
But I mean, what I was going to say is at Disneyland, even though this isn't part of eating them, just the little guys who stir
Yeah.
the little popcorn guys, those little characters at each of the popcorn stands throughout Disneyland. To me,
Very fun.
that's also very iconic.
Do they have those in the overseas parks?
No, I don't remember that particular part. But in the overseas parks, they are known, especially at Tokyo, for having all kinds of amazing popcorn flavors that I've had.
Yes.
You know, there's
I'm very much looking
the
forward to
honey
that.
one over at Pooh's Honey Hunt.
With the curry.
There's the strawberry one in Tokyo Disney Sea. As you said, there's the black curry. There's the black tea. There's a soy sauce one.
Ooh.
There's one, a chocolate.
They
and of
did
course caramel and all kinds of other
try
fun
that here in Epcot. There's a stand right outside of Journey into Imagination, in between there and the land.
Oh yeah.
And they would have like dill pickle flavored, I believe. I forget the other two flavors, but I think they might have been.
I think those ones were pre-packaged though.
Well, probably.
Yeah.
It's Disney World.
I mean, yeah, the ones in Tokyo.
They make right in front of
And
you.
of course, at each stand, they sell a souvenir bucket that is
Oh, right.
exclusive to that stand, and all of them, they buy their souvenir buckets. A lot of people buy multiple ones, and of course you can get refills for less. But
I think we have Japan to thank for
Yeah.
the souvenir buckets that
Oh,
have
yeah.
made their way over here.
the ones over here aren't quite as
No, they're
elaborate as the
completely
ones
different
out there.
because they know what people over here will buy,
Of course,
I think.
yes,
And
But-
they do.
they do.
We have,
You have done this many times.
what? I haven't. I was
No,
just
I'm
going
not-
to say, we haven't gotten into that. What did I collect?
There's the Darth Vader helmet, the
No,
R2D2.
I did not have.
You
I did get the
absolutely
R2D2
did.
one.
You absolutely did. I've moved it around from location to
Well,
location.
that was probably
through the
Grammy
years.
buying it. I did get the Oogie Boogie ones when they were doing
Yeah,
that.
plus a
but
lot of the
then they
Halloween buckets
changed
and
too many Oogie Boogies, so I
and you
gave
know
up.
there's some that were themed to each of the Halloween parties as well as the Mickey's
Yeah.
Very Merry Christmas Party.
Like the ones that they do really well, like the Haunted Mansion ones that like clip together. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
The last one was like a sipper cup instead of a popcorn thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun because you can
Yes.
display it and it won't look like, oh, those are popcorn buckets. But the ones that kind of look like kind of just cheap plastic.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan. Although I guess I did collect the regular ones too, now that I think about it, because those were always, I would always have a bucket in the
Yeah,
minivan
with
for
the-
emergencies.
with the
You never
little
know
top.
who needs a bucket to. Next up, let's discuss the Mickey Premium Bar.
Okay. Did you know that it wasn't always the Mickey Premium Bar?
I think we discussed that in one of our episodes.
Well,
I don't
I mean,
remember which one. Probably our Epcot ones. 'Cause we
My
talked about-
initial job at
Right.
Walt Disney World was selling ice cream at Epcot Center. And back when I did that, it was the Mouseketeer Bar, which had the little face of Mickey Mouse with the little smile.
vanilla and chocolate ice
with
cream
it was
together.
you have vanilla face and chocolate ears,
And chocolate eyeballs.
right, on a stick. And then separately from that, we sold the premium ice cream bar, which was just
not-
like an oval
Yeah.
shape with a stick in it, and it had like a premium wrapper made of foil, which made it seem very adult.
And it was dark chocolate.
And it was
too.
dark chocolate.
Yeah,
And so
my
the
mom
dark
used to love
chocolate,
those.
usually did not appeal to the kids because that's bitter. And
Mm-hmm.
they tend to like the sweeter Mickey Mouse bar. But I think because the Mouseketeer bars would always melt and so their faces would be warped, they kind of at some point combined the two
Yeah.
and made the premium Mickey Mouse bar.
I think it was
which is now
sometime
what
in
we
the
have
late
today.
90s. I tried to find out the exact date, but there's so many Mickey.
So it's the
Premium
same
Bar
thing with the
content
dark
on there.
chocolate, but now in the shape of Mickey Mouse. And I do love those.
Yeah, and it's a thicker chocolate,
Mhm.
so it doesn't always fall apart when you eat it. Like
Sometimes it does because, it's just a matter.
being in Florida, it's kind of hard.
Yeah. If if they get to the point where they're kind of not as frozen and you crack the chocolate, it could be a disaster.
Shall we move on to
We shall.
the turkey leg? Which, if I had my druthers, it would not be on this list at all, because I think they're so gross. I apologize if you enjoy them, if you're listening or watching, but they're gross.
I've had one. And, I think a lot of people, they just have the urge to have, like, just meat. Even
before I was vegetarian or vegan, I thought they were gross.
Yeah, the first...
It's like a giant bone with meat coming off of it that is just nasty.
And the first couple of bites are good, and then...
I would not know. I've never, ever had one.
Yeah.
But they smell like ham because they're, like, very smoked.
Yeah, they're...
and salt cured or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Zachary Levi tried to spread the rumor that they were emu legs.
Yes, there are rumors all the time that aren't these actual emus? And I think it was because
they're really huge.
Yeah, because a lot of people thought, well, turkeys aren't this big, but emus are kind of big, and they're not quite as big as an ostrich. So surely these must be. I'm sure it's
just like in the curing process, everything gets like plumped up
and engorged. Yeah. Yes,
gross. I think they should be illegal, personally.
But I mean, but seeing a person just holding a turkey leg and just kind of going at it is kind of an iconic image at a Disney park.
I mean, they made it into magnets and dog toys and, everything else. So
yes, they did.
It definitely has earned its status.
But did you know that, first off, it originated at Disney World, not Disneyland, and it was originally sold at the Big Al's location, just in Frontierland there.
Oh, in Disneyland?
No, Walt Disney World.
I didn't even know they sold them in Disneyland. I guess I just wasn't ever paying attention there.
They do, but I think all of their variety of things out there kind of makes it...
Why have a turkey leg when you can have a corn dog?
Exactly.
All right.
Or the next item on our list, the chimichanga. Which is...
This is on your personal list.
It was. Because it's an iconic thing that is a Disneyland exclusive, and it literally is just meat and beans kind of all mushed into one in a deep fried kind of
burrito.
Burrito kind of a thing. It's a classic size, and it fills you up, and it's delicious, and it doesn't have cheese.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it's just
every chimichanga I've ever had in my life has had cheese in it.
Then you have not had the ones at Disneyland.
I don't think I have. All right, what's that at Rancho del Zocalo?
No, they're all over the place. They're just like popcorn out there. In so many different stands out there.
That's fun. Is that like our egg rolls here, which I did not put on my list, but I guess I should. Egg rolls.
No, I wouldn't say that, because they're more prevalent out there than egg rolls were here.
Yeah. They used to have this. I mean, is it still there, the stand?
No.
And it's not even there anymore at all, right?
I think they have them at Animal Kingdom. But the stand that was in Adventureland is long gone. Sadly.
And it used to be just regular egg rolls, but then they experimented with different flavors over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I guess they do. All right. Do you want to name another one, or you want me to go?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll go. Over at the Jolly Holiday at Disneyland, of course, they take the largest icon at Disneyland and shrink it into just a tasty, pocket-sized goodness in the Matterhorn Macaroon.
Yes.
Not the macaroon the Matterhorn Macaroon, which I used to call it.
I think when I first went there, I was not vegan or vegetarian, and I had a Matterhorn Macaroon, and it was a glorious moment. Even when I was vegetarian, I could still have those, and they're just so good. If you like coconut.
And that's the thing. I'm not a huge coconut guy, but I love these.
They're so good.
Yeah, and the frosting on the outside.
White chocolate on the top.
Yeah, and what I used to do is take little gummy bears and pose them on the little Matterhorn. They would be Hans and Otto scaling the majestic slope, the icy slopes of the majestic Matterhorn.
Yes. And you could do that because at one point we brought like a dozen home in a bag on the airplane.
A couple dozen, yeah. And I would eat those over the course of a month or two.
They do keep well.
Yes, I did come across one that apparently I kept a little too long. I think it
no.
was like maybe 9-10 months later, and I could not bite into it.
We don't recommend this.
No, we do not. But they are so good, and they do ship well, and yeah, you can get many, many of them and bring them, and they're cheap.
Did you ever have one before
Nope.
we went there and
Not
I
at
made
all.
you eat one? So
Nope,
I don't
that
even
was
know,
my first time.
because Jolly Holiday was new when I went there. So I don't even know where
I
they
have
sold
no
them
idea
beforehand.
what the history of that was, or if they were even sold before then.
If you have
No
the
clue.
backstory on Matterhorn Macaroons, let us know. But
Yeah.
Jolly Holiday is an adorable addition
really
as
is.
well. They do like special little penguin things and stuff every now and then.
Mhm.
I do love it there.
Oh, yes.
Over in Disneyland still, Tigger Tails. I heard tell of Tigger Tails before my first visit. So when I brought my children for their first visit, I had to get a Tigger Tail for them. Sophia was not as impressed as I thought she would be. It's basically just marshmallows on a stick dipped in, I don't even know if it's regular chocolate. It might just be like orange chocolate and sprinkles, and it's got like black stripes on it, so it looks like a Tigger Tail.
Yeah, and they have a similar item in Tokyo to represent Chandu.
Yes.
But that one's
that has
slightly
like
different.
curry stuff
Yeah,
in it,
that's a
right?
totally different thing.
And it's like big and puffy.
Yeah.
They look amazing. I've seen
Yeah.
those. Is it like vegetarian curry?
I have never had one.
I'll
So
have
I
to
don't know.
investigate. So yeah, Tigger Tails. There's so many things
There really are.
that we could add in that same vein, like Mickey pretzels, of course, iconic. I'm not a huge fan.
I like pretzels, but yeah, there's so many other things to get that I don't usually get them.
The few times I've had them, they've always been like super hard or stale seeming.
no.
So I'm just like,
They should be
what's the big
soft.
deal?
If,
I know.
If they're not, then there's something wrong.
But there is in Germany, in Epcot, I don't know if it's open
Yes.
right now, but they have the giant ones, which I'll post
Bigger
a picture
than your head.
of. I'll send to Christian to show on this video. They're huge, and
Oh,
Gio
yeah.
and I got one time, and those were like nice,
Oh,
fresh
yeah.
pretzels.
Whenever I get one of those pretzels, though, I always kind of flick off all of the little salts that are
Yeah, it is a
stuck on
lot
there.
of like
I
pure salts.
literally just wipe all of the salt nuggets off of each side because I just don't like the salt. I like the pretzel,
Yeah.
but that's me.
Another fun. Let's see. I'm trying to get all of the little snack items.
Yeah, there's so many.
Mickey Rice Krispie treats, of
Those
course.
are fun. I mean,
I used to always get those with the kids, but back in the olden days, even just like 10 years ago, I think, they would make them there. And now, sometimes they still do, but a lot of times...
No, I've seen them make them
they're-
there. They still make
The
them
ones they have in packages
there. Right
and
on Main
stuff
Street.
are pre-done. So
I don't
that's
know.
sad.
Really?
Yeah,
Because
the ones they have like
because I've
in
seen
sealed
them.
things.
I've seen them make them there, and I've seen them wrap them there. So I don't know. I mean, I know
Well,
that
it
they
says
don't do
on the
all of
packaging
them.
that it's like
Yeah.
made in a different place. So
That's true. But I mean, they do. They still do make some fresh.
they
there.
make some. So be aware, because the fresh ones are, of course,
Oh, yeah.
super good.
Yeah, make sure you get the fresh ones.
But the ones that they do that are kind of like for special events and stuff like that, with like a weird photo printout of Olaf or something like that, those are definitely pre-made.
Yes, definitely.
Speaking of Magic Kingdom things, there is, of course, the gray stuff.
It's delicious.
I guess.
That's the line.
Yeah, it is.
It has to be delicious
I
because
kind of need to ask the
Lumiere
dishes
says so.
what they think, because I don't know if they would agree.
You goofball.
Basically, that wasn't a thing. Beauty and the Beast came out in what, 1991?
Yep.
Was what I was going to say. And we didn't, no one thought to make the gray stuff. It really was the advent of Be Our Guest restaurant, I think, that made
That's
them
right.
think like, wait,
In
we
New
got to serve the
Fantasyland.
gray stuff.
It's delicious.
It's basically just like vanilla pudding that's like fluffy, kind of like there's Cool Whip-ish consistency with like Oreo crumbs in it.
Yeah, I never knew what it was. I just knew it was delicious.
Yeah, it's just a fun little fluffy, sweet snack, but I wouldn't like go out of my way to get one personally.
I'll tell you what is although you should say that other one that's in that same area.
This?
That's the drink right above there.
Oh, yes. Okay. So LeFou's Brew
Ooh.
over at Gaston's Tavern.
Yes.
I was going to say brew house. Gaston's Tavern, LeFou's Brew, not currently open, but when it is, this was basically as New Fantasyland was kind of Disney's answer, everyone said, to Hogsmeade and the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Which, of course, had the butterbeer.
This was their answer to butterbeer, as I was about to say.
And it's good.
But no, I think it's not as sweet as butterbeer.
No.
Wow, it just got like echoey in here. It is like frozen apple slush, but it does have, I think, a very similar, if not the same kind of marshmallow.
Yes, and that is very sweet, but
top.
There's only just a very little bit of that in each drink.
And it comes in a cute little Gaston souvenir mug, which I have
that with us
somewhere downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a fun answer. I don't think it took off as much as they hoped it would with butterbeer, but
it did not.
Butterbeer had 7 books to back it up, so.
And the 7th book was split into 2 books,
I guess.
or 2 movies anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, but another sweet treat in Epcot could be found in Germany.
Ah, yes.
At the, what do you call it? The caramel
Kuka.
Kuka.
It looks like it should be Kucha, but it's not. I watched a video once, and they said how to pronounce it, and it was Kuka.
Kuka. But anyway, that if you're going to get caramel corn,
yes,
other than Tokyo Disneyland, that is the place to get it.
Here's the thing. As has been a common thread here, the goodness and consistency has gone down in recent years. When it first opened, they were making it in front of you, putting it into bags, and you were literally buying
the key. You have to
the
get
stuff
the
they
fresh.
just made.
Yeah.
Now it's still made there. They still make it in the big
But they
bowls.
try to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
And
so sometimes you get one and it's stale and you're like, and it's like already stuck together because Florida humidity is a thing.
Yeah, you should be able to go there and say, I want to see the one made.
I don't know if you can
and
recommend
bag it right
that.
in front of my face so I could eat that.
It's still good. I'm not going to say it's terrible, but it's not as good as it was in the beginning.
That's a very fair point.
At the same time, a thing I wanted to discuss was cupcakes in general.
That is now a Disney specialty.
Iconic cupcakes.
Another Instagram.
At the same token, I was going to say candy apples used to be like the thing. That was like they would come out with new ones and they had, Mickey shapes, but then they would do fun different other shapes.
There's an unlimited amount of designs that you can
and
make
they're
into
so
that
ridiculously huge.
Yeah.
You would cut into it and there would be like, an inch of caramel and then chocolate and sprinkles and all these various things on them. And they do still make them, but I think
caramel apples are just such a chore to eat.
Well, they're fun, but I think cupcakes became the easier thing to do and the prettier thing to photograph and get people excited over.
And they made a mint doing this.
Places like Starring Rolls over at Hollywood Studios, which is no longer with us, sadly, had things like the Butterfinger cupcake, which was iconic in and of itself because it was like
huge,
at least 5 inches of frosting, and it wasn't just gross like lard frosting.
It was sweet.
It was really well done, like buttercream frosting with Butterfingers in it, and the cupcake itself was good. When Star Wars Weekends was still a thing, they had the Darth Vader cupcake that
chocolate
had
one,
peanut butter in the filling of the cupcake. In
very
recent
rich
times,
and decadent on that one.
I have tried. Well, this was recent times. Was like at least 5 years ago, I guess. I got one, and I was like, "This just isn't even good. I need to stop getting." And I told you, don't let me get Disney cupcakes anymore because it's just like generic frosting and
they've kind of done it to death.
Yeah, and they do it because
they're very pretty.
Exactly.
And Instagram loves them.
And everyone's going to take photos of them and share them. And what is good is the resorts have kind of taken on their own thing, and each resort kind of has their own iconic cupcake. So it is fun if you're into cupcakes, and if you like them, then you should of course experience that. But I don't think that things should be created just for the purpose of taking a photo of it.
I agree.
I made the mistake of with the Peter Pan Dole Whip float, which was lime Dole Whip. Some people love it, but I was not a fan at all. It had like, I think, Sprite in it.
That,
it was like Sprite as the float thing, and then the Dole Whip was lime or key lime flavored, and they put a little feather as Peter Pan's cap. I mean feather. Not a fan. It just tasted like lime jello kind of thing for me. So you really have to be careful, and if you're into it for the snack, do some research and see if it's actually good, if people have tried it and liked it, or if you've just seen photos of it and it looks pretty.
Exactly.
In my opinion, anyway.
Yes.
We should probably try to wrap up. We've been talking so long.
We still have so many to go, but okay.
I know.
Maybe we should.
Let's just reel some, I'll reel some off. And we don't have to talk too much about them. But Tonga Toast.
That one is iconic, though. I mean, that was at Polynesia when that first opened in 1971. That was on their menu.
I
way
remember
back then.
Reading about it in the Birnbaum guidebook, I believe, and was like, I have to try this. And I did.
It is pretty good.
Yeah, it's a fun experience.
Yeah.
It's very thick Texas toast type bread with
bananas
inside, fried, covered in cinnamon sugar, and served with strawberry sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Which, another thing, strawberry soup over at the Grand Floridian 1900 Park Fair. That's their iconic thing. It's not as popular as some other things, but it is exclusive to 1900 Park Fair.
Yeah, I guess there are some things that are just very exclusive to a particular restaurant, like the Cobb salad over at the Brown Derby.
Yes.
And their grapefruit cake as well, right?
Yes, exactly. I was looking up, and apparently that was a Brown Derby original.
Yes, it was.
And it kind of became iconic here because it was just, an iconic dessert in and of itself. Basically, someone told the owner of the Brown Derby back in the day, you should put something with grapefruit on it because that's slimming, because the grapefruit
make
diets
all the
back
actors
then.
feel like they're
so he made a
still
cake,
keeping their
which was
figures.
not a slimming cake at all.
No,
but it looks pretty. Still on the dessert side of things, zebra domes over at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yeah, at Boma.
Yes, and those, they have to put a warning on them because there's alcohol in them.
Those used to be a lot larger than they are now.
I know. I tried to
they
find
used to be
a photo.
Huge.
They were probably like this big.
Bigger.
I don't think
they are now a quarter the size that they used to be. And
which is weird because they always had like an Oreo in the bottom.
Yeah.
And now they're like the size of an Oreo.
Yeah.
But now you can eat more because it's an unlimited buffet.
I like the little zebra striping on those.
Yeah, they're fun. And actually in the Mara, where they have their food court at Animal Kingdom Lodge, you can get a zebra dome cake.
Ooh.
If you wanted that to
dome
celebrate.
Shaped?
It is in fact a giant zebra dome.
Well, while we're over at Animal Kingdom Lodge, I should talk about the bread service over at Zanna.
Yes.
We just had that recently.
I mean, what can be said about bread that hasn't been said?
Tons, and it's all of their fun sauces. And
you have to go there and check it out for sure.
Oh, yes.
I can't believe we haven't mentioned Mickey waffles, but that is definitely, perhaps the most iconic, other than the Mickey bar, maybe.
It's probably 5th or 6th on the icon level.
You think?
Oh, yeah. Popcorn. Corn dog.
But popcorn is popcorn. Like, it's not Mickey-shaped popcorn.
Oh, and Dole Whip, things
and you
like
can
that,
get them on the cruise line.
But
you
we're
can
not
get
ranking
them at all
them.
the hotels.
And there's actually a shop at Tokyo Disneyland. I know it's Tokyo, but that's exclusively Mickey waffles.
That's
and
crazy.
they come...
Like the big ones?
Yeah,
Disneyland does or they used to. I don't know if they still do that.
With all kinds of chocolate sauce and things.
Yeah. And they occasionally do chocolate ones on the cruise line.
Oh, yes.
And I've recently seen red velvet.
Remember the ones over at the Wave of American Flavors?
No. They had chocolate ones there, though, too, right?
No, they're not chocolate, but they're... I can't remember what it was about them. Maybe it was that they're... Okay.
Yeah, I think they were the same kind. Let's see what else is on our list. We have chicken waffles at Sleepy Hollow, and then the hazelnut.
See, I always liked the chicken
Fruit.
waffles because, chicken.
They had
But
that
then
spicy sauce.
just
they
the
would put on.
one, yeah. And then I thought, you don't even need the meat. You get Nutella with the strawberries, and that's delicious all by
is.
itself
Very good.
with a waffle.
Mac
Love
and
that.
cheese over at Friar's Nook, which they have various toppings on. I've never actually had that, but I've heard a lot of discussion
I've also
about
never
it.
had
They
that.
put roast beef on top of it and all sorts of crazy things.
Well, that's weird.
Well, you don't like cheese, so you don't get to judge.
I'm not judging.
Pickles.
Yeah.
I think they used to be more iconic than they are
At
now.
Disneyland, yeah, you would just go to the stand right by the Jungle Cruise and just get a sweet pickle.
A sweet one?
I don't know.
That should be illegal.
Well, yeah. Well, I believe they were sweet.
I don't think that's a thing. Like a giant pickle that's sweet?
Yeah.
No.
No?
Pickles are sour.
Okay. Maybe it was a combination of sweet and sour. We'll call it the sweet and sour
Let us
pickle.
know if you've had a Disneyland pickle.
Because you'd be able to get a giant pickle and then just walk around and eat the pickle.
Yes.
A whole pickle. A giant pickle.
I used to eat very sour pickles up in
Okay.
Maine at a cheese
See,
shop.
I just can't imagine eating a sour thing for many, many, many bites.
You don't like anything like vinegary, but
No,
I
I don't.
love it. I used to love getting sour pickles.
Okay.
They might just be dill ones that are
Yeah.
more cucumbery tasting, like the kind you get at a deli.
And I would think it would be like that.
But sweet pickles?
But while we're at Disneyland, in Adventureland, I would talk about the Bengal barbecue skewers
Yes.
with the chicken and the beef. But then they
And
also had the
veggies.
veggies one, which was really good too, with the peppers and the potatoes and onions. Yummy.
Yeah.
With the different sauces too.
Over at DCA, they have stuff in a cone where you can get. They actually have.
And they would include the word cone in the chili con carne.
Yeah, they have vegetarian chili, I believe, over there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's vegan because I think they put cheese on it. But
They
maybe you
put
could just get it
pop
without
cone.
the cheese. Maybe the cone isn't vegan though. I haven't been there in a long time, so
Yeah.
not sure. Of course, Casey's hot dogs here. They always have 8 million different specialty hot dogs, and they have a vegan one there now.
Just
as well.
make sure that you chew them properly. Don't want to choke on a hot
As
dog.
with all of these things.
And those ones are 6 feet long, or really long hot dogs.
They have foot long ones, yeah. Some classic alcoholic items. I mentioned the Dole Whip with rum, but over at Epcot they have the Grey Goose slushy, which has become iconic. You don't drink, so. I don't think Christian has even had one since turning 21. He is not.
Nor have I.
And then during the different festivals, they have different flavored ones, like pomegranate, I believe, and stuff like that. So they're always fun on a hot day.
Okay.
And speaking of drinks, still peanut butter and jelly milkshakes at
Yes.
Primetime Cafe.
I've had that. That's really interesting.
They're really good. Last
Yeah,
time
they
I
are
got one
good.
was a million years ago when I was not vegan.
I usually now get a different flavor because I tend to like chocolate and things like that. But it's a really very fun, interesting flavor.
You can get that at the Tune-In Lounge if you
Yes,
don't
you
want
can.
to have a whole meal at Primetime. You can just order up a milkshake
That's right.
from the Tune-In Lounge bar.
How about the new one, the blue or green milk?
Oh, I forgot about that. I don't recommend either.
Yeah, I prefer the blue over the green, but yeah, I'm okay not getting either.
They just taste like different forms of air freshener or like furniture polish to me. If you want to get one for a photo in Galaxy's Edge, then go for it.
Yeah, I
But
remember
it's-
you got the blue one. You took the photo. You took one sip, didn't like it, and then you gave the rest to me. And I
Yeah.
actually liked it.
And then my friend Amanda and I did, we each got one and then we mixed them up. So it was like
Ooh.
striped. And then we didn't drink
No.
it. It was gross. We did it for the gram. I'll have to repost that photo. That's all on my list, but you still have some,
I
right?
have a couple more. One
right.
of them has its own theme song. The Strawberry Shortcake at the Hoop-Dee-Doo.
Oh my gosh. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, with where your waiters come out on
And they're banging
on the
buckets.
yeah. And they have a whole song to introduce to you the dessert to your Hoop-Dee-Doo
Yes.
meal. So that's a fun one. And Yeah, I'm okay with that being the end.
You didn't want to talk about Satuli Canteen? That was from your list.
Those are...
I don't think they're iconic yet.
They're really good, though.
Christian disagrees. He thinks they're iconic. Sophia, you want to be a... Sophia agrees with me. They're not iconic yet. Give them another few years.
I was very impressed with that meal. They were able to do something completely different. You can order up the kind of meats that you
bowls
want.
in general have come into favor over the last few years. So Disney was really just getting with the times. In my opinion, it is fun that you can choose your own thing. Yes,
and so I was willing to take that off the list. But now that you mention it, I will mention one other thing.
Okay, this is going to be the last one.
Okay,
we're going to be a 2-hour food special.
This is going to be weird because it's not super iconic. But when I was in Tokyo, I actually came across the chicken curry cutlet with the curry gravy in the Frontierland, right next to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad out there. And then I found out that they serve that at the Yakitori House, which is now the...
Katsura Grill?
Yeah, Katsura Grill. And
I used to love that when I still ate meat. And I make the curry part with just vegetables. Golden Curry brand, if you want to make that at home.
It's delicious. It's really good. Add a bunch of rice.
Yeah.
Perfect. So,
all right.
It was a fun time.
If we have missed an iconic treat... drink, we probably missed a lot of drinks because
there's so much food and drink all across Disney parks.
I know.
I'm sure we've missed all kinds.
We could do a whole drink episode. But let us know in the comments. You can drop us an email. We still have to do our trivia, speaking of email.
Oh,
so
that's
let's
right.
do that really quick. What's the last week's one?
Okay, well, last week we were talking about Orangebird.
Oh, yes.
And I had said that on the Orangebird, the Disneyland Storybook album, they had 6 songs on there, all of which were written by the Sherman Brothers. All of them were written exclusively for that album with the exception of one song, which was originally written for something else. And I was talking about that it was I'll Fly the Skyway. But originally, when the Sherman Brothers wrote that, it was called My Way's the Highway. And I asked, what film was that originally written for, and which character was originally going to sing it?
I'm going to guess Captain Hook from Peter Pan.
No.
I have no idea.
It was from the Aristocats.
Ah, that makes sense.
And it was originally going to be sung by Thomas O'Malley. The Alley Cat.
Abraham DeLacy, Giuseppe Casey, Thomas O'Malley, O'Malley the Alley Cat.
That is exactly correct.
Got it.
Abraham
That was
DeLacy.
a good one. All right, what's this week's trivia corner?
So let me ask you first off, did you all get that right? Anyway, so since we've been talking about food this whole time, I thought we should have a food-related trivia question, and it's a very simple one, I think. What was Walt Disney's favorite food? And where do they serve that every day here at Walt Disney World?
But not right now.
But not right now because of the
location is not currently open.
Yes. But when it is open, they serve it every day.
I know the answer, but I will
You will
not
have to wait until next week. What was Walt Disney's favorite food? And where do they serve it every day here?
All right. Well, hopefully we've made you hungry and thirsty, and you're going to whip up some Disney treats at home if you're not a local here to Orlando or Disneyland, which is not open, so you're out of luck there too. We thank you, of course, for listening. If you'd like to see what we mentioned, I'm sure we'll throw some fun photos in. Make sure you're following and subscribing to us at Zannaland on YouTube.
Yes.
You can get there by going to youtube.com/Zannaland. Give us a like on the video. Subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Give us a rating. Give us a thumbs up. And you may have noticed this week that there was no live show on Monday because we are moving it to Thursday, which will be tomorrow if you're listening to this when it comes out. So that'll be exciting.
Yes, it will be.
I think it'll be a better day because Monday's right after the weekend. Everyone doesn't know what's going on in their lives. So Thursday, they're ready for the weekend. They're ready to relax and listen to a fun show And
We
it's going to be an
promise it
hour
will be
later.
Yeah,
than
it will be
was.
fun.
So maybe the West Coast people can jump in as well.
Yeah, that would be great.
Another quick reminder, if you haven't been following me on Instagram, which is Zannaland there as well, I'm giving away Maleficent ears,
Oh my.
the brand new ones that just came out. The giveaway ends Thursday, and I will announce the winner on the live show. So if you're listening when this comes out on Wednesday, you can still enter. All you have to do is be following, like the photo. That's literally it.
And you have to leave a comment about
leave a
the
comment.
Maleficent.
Which is your favorite version of Maleficent? Animated, live action, or
if you want a whole bunch
in
of
park?
options, you just read my comment on there. Apparently, I've been
Yes.
deemed ineligible for this
You are
for this
indeed
giveaway, but I
ineligible.
left my comment on the Instagram, which has all kinds of fun Maleficents.
Yeah. So, and give me a follow on Instagram anyway if you're not already,
Oh, yeah.
because I post some fun photos there every now and then, like every day.
I agree.
So thank you, of course, for listening, and we hope again that you share your favorites with us as well. We did not do our top 10. Maybe we'll do that on Thursday.
Yes,
But thank you for joining us up the waterfall.
that's right. Bye now.